This is what I've been focusing on for the past 2 years. Lore.land not specifically, but the ecosystem around it. Boon.land and Bane.land, Bone.land, Bonk.land, Honk.land, all tied together with the concepts boonbanebone.com. You can see that there are some Instagram accounts as well. These tie together with a lot of other sites that I'm presenting to say you don't need to just have a .com. You can be a fully fledged, you can be a full-fledged brand. You can have a presence that extends beyond the things that people know to ask about you. Like this Chrome extension, I haven't committed to this repository in 2 years, and as I bring this together with boon.land, I'm going to be thinking about the actual structure of the code. Do I still want to use Webpack for the build system? Do I still want to use JavaScript for the files, etc.? I think that this is a pretty interesting opportunity to explore the space. app.factshift.com is in need of documentation description. Right now you can see that I have the capability to add and remove nodes. If I yoink these nodes, it copies them to the clipboard and I can paste them onto a similar site for zero-party data. And there are various things that I can do to interact with this. So on and so forth. So the idea is that you would have a concept that you want to represent, like food, and you'd be able to type things that you know about that concept, like edible, good. And you'd be able to represent that edible and good are elements of this concept. And if you want to, you can say, actually, I want this to be a different color. Let's see. So on and so forth. So if you want to express that there are some things that are good and some things that are edible, and you can drag those to either side, and this is like a physical way to interact with your thoughts. So that's part of it. Another part of it is that these physics depend on the bounding box, the size of the device. So if I were to save this and refresh the page, you see that the physics interact differently. I can refresh the page again, and it goes back to where it was before I saved it. So if I were to refresh the page and save, and then close this window and then refresh the page, you see that there are a lot of different interactions. And I can also do something like story equals demo. Let's see. I don't know if that works on this one. Let's see. Demo. I see. It only works sometimes. It works conditionally. There are a lot of very interesting things that you can do with this concept. Like if you want to make sure that everybody can access the same basis of communication, you can tell them, hey, we're all going to be going to the story, which is demo, and so that's the stage that you should enter this frame with, essentially. So this is a pretty cool concept to me, and it extends into other spaces pretty well, like Stable Diffusion. Let's see, do I have an example of Stable Diffusion about.boon.land? I can say hello, goodbye as a negative prompt. And the track ID, I'm going to say example, generate image, and then this should generate file not found, not yet. There we go. So the thing that I'm demonstrating here is a matter of caching. When I accessed this route prematurely before it was actually downloaded, Cloudflare cached this image, example/0.png. Adding a query string onto it, one, meant that the cache for that particular entry was invalidated, and now this is the image that I see when I visit one. And we can verify that this is a Cloudflare hit by going to, where is it, network? I think it's doc. Refresh the page. 304 not modified. And we see CF cache status hit. I don't know what 304 means. Well, not modified. So I'm pretty sure this is when it is a cache hit. It doesn't send a 200. I'm gonna try out, let's just say, instead of example, let's say example 2. Generate image. Wait a few seconds to make sure that it does download. Click on that image, and that's a 200. If I refresh the page, then it's a 304. That's verified. I think it would be really interesting if there were different words that people knew that they could type in for the image, and then they could just access them at different times. Then for something like lore.land, to describe the concepts that are being displayed, and this is very conceptual. I'm going to remove this image. Once upon a time in Honkland, 9 honks were being forged. I can collect that lore, go to a different page. Well, once upon a time in Honkland forged 9 honks. So these are some of the ideas, and then this could actually be an image. For example, this isn't an image, it's just a blank. Yeah, actually, I think I'm kind of done with this video. Focus. The things that I'm focused on are this text-to-image generator and the connection to the actual webhook, whatever that is. I'm gonna make sure that there are a lot of things that I need to modify about this. So the things that I'm focused on are actually making this interface more aesthetically meaningful and then connecting it to lore.land. And also going through the reference for web content accessibility guidelines in Rust, going through the book for Rust, and also the web components. So as I continue to flesh out factshift.com and lore.land, and also tealstripesvibes.org, so I continue to flesh out all of these, I'm going to be keeping in mind the topics of accessibility and linguistics that I'm considering, and also start to flesh out the relationship to web components. And there are a few other people who are working on this as well. So part of the discussion steps are coordinating with them and seeing which topics are actually interesting, how often do we want to coordinate around these things. Because I found that delegating and giving people a lot of agency to flesh out these spaces that they're interested in turns out to be a lot more useful for direction than pretty much anything else. If I can describe a project well enough to give it to someone else, and I also do care about the outcome, then I probably just do it myself. But if I don't really mind the specific outcome, and I know that I just need to apply some effort into a particular domain, and those are the areas where it's easier to give collaborators a lot of free room for what's possible and where they want to go. But the other side of that is that we actually need to get things done in order to make a living. Like, I actually need to sell stuff now if I want this to be sustainable at all. So that kind of stuff is on my mind. The breadth of the ecosystem is broken down into this focus area, which is just trying to get this image generator to work consistently and have people be aware of the kinds of interactions that come with the caching. So talking with different artists about what that should mean, I think is also going to be pretty interesting. Anyway,